How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Unknown Capital. Today I'm going to be doing Game Week 2 predictions for the 2022-2023 Premier League season. There's going to be some very good games. There's going to be some very important games. Yes, I know it's already Game Week 2 and I'm already saying that there's important games, but let's get right into the video. Guys, before we get into the game week prediction, I just want to ask you for one thing, guys. Please like, subscribe, comment, do the usual. Please put all your predictions in the comments as well. I'll go through every comment. I'll try to read it and give my best reply. But let's start with the first game. So the first game, we've got Aston Villa against Everton. And let's start with Aston Villa. Aston Villa's first start to the Premier League wasn't great, losing to Bournemouth 2-0. And I thought for Aston Villa, the game would have been even better because they signed the likes of Diego Carlos, the likes of Philippe Coutinho, and one more. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my computer. They signed the likes of Kamara from Marseille. So they've done very good business this year, and this is added to the team which they already had the likes of Matica, Leon Bailey, Danny Ings. Like, I thought they were going to do way better. They conceded a goal in the first 2 minutes against Bournemouth, and Bournemouth pretty much did very well in the Vitality Stadium, and Aston Villa had no answer. I think this could be a possibility of Aston Villa as the first game of the season. They were a bit flat-footed and they didn't know what to do. But with Aston Villa, they need to win this game against Everton. Everton gone out here and just signed a couple of new players. They've signed the likes of Connor Cody. They already have James Tarkowski. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a very, very tough game. And with Everton, last year, everyone remembers how bad that away form was. And I think this year, it might continue. I think Frank Lampard is probably the best man for this job. He's probably not the best man, but he's like a manager which you can do with right now. But with Everton, the first game against Chelsea, they actually played okay. And Chelsea have this tendency to struggle in Goodison Park. So I don't have a real, I don't have a real understanding how Everton going to be. I feel like the first game in Chelsea, because they're playing Goodison Park and there was a bit of hostility last year, I think they struggled a little bit. But I think this game against Aston Villa is important for both of them to see how well the season is going to go. If Aston Villa going to beat Everton, it's going to be lights out for Everton and vice versa, in my opinion. So my score prediction for this game is going to be 2-0 Aston Villa. So guys, let's move on to the next game. So the next game we got Southampton against Leeds. Let's start with Southampton. They got trashed by Tottenham. Yes, they started the game relatively well, but after that, after the James Ward-Prowse goal, they didn't know what to do. The balls were coming in, they were struggling to clear the ball, and Tottenham just came out all guns blazing, and Antonio Conte just got the job done. And with Southampton, I feel like the Tottenham game is going to be a good indication of how the season is going to go. Even though it started off well, I feel like they're going to go down. And all the teams which have come up, except Nottingham Forest, who lost at the end of the day to a Newcastle team which are very, very respected. But look at Fulham, got 2-2 draw against the Scousers, who are pretty much one of the favourites to win. And then Bournemouth, who beat Aston Villa. Aston Villa have been in the Premier League for the last 3-4 years. You can't complain. Stevie G of Trump managers. So with Southampton, it's going to be very difficult. I feel like they need to make sure they win this game against Leeds and make sure that I just stay on top, because if they lose this game, I believe they're going to be very close or in the battle for going down. But let's move on to Leeds. With Leeds, what a game against Wolves. Yes, Ozil made a mistake, but Jesse Marshall and his men did very well. To lose Rafinha and Calvin Phillips in one window, two players who are very monumental to them. Rafinha, who is a playmaker, and Calvin Phillips, who holds down the midfield. It was very sad. But they did very good signings, summer signings. They signed the likes of Brendan Olsen from RB Salzburg. They signed Rumas Christensen from RB Salzburg. They signed Marco Roca from Bayern Munich, which is a very good signing. They signed a guy called Darka Gabe from Man City. And they signed a person, Tyler Adams, for RB Leipzig. And this is very good, very, very good business from Jesse Marsh, because if you really look into the Leeds team last year, they were very, very lucky to stay up. Like, yes, Burnley went down at the last of the season and Rafinha's magic helped them to beat Brentford in the last game of the season. But this year, they've gone up and signed right now, 7 players, and they've actually improved the squad very well. So Jesse Marsh and his men, I feel like they're going to thump Southampton, in my opinion. I feel like Leeds are going to win this game 3-0. So guys, let's move on to the next game. So the next game we have between is Arsenal and Leicester. And this is going to be a very interesting game. But let's start with Arsenal. What a summer signing they've had, a summer transfer window. I'm just going to look at the laptop again. Sorry guys, you can attack me in the comment section. I should have remembered every player they've signed. They've signed the likes of Marquinhos from Sao Paulo, very good. Fabio Vieira from Porto, which apparently is a good investment for the future. The likes of Gabriel Jesus, who is being selected one of the most players in Fantasy Premier League with 75% or 77.2%. And he clearly showed in the first game how he was penetrating the Crystal Palace midfield and the defense, where he was giving new openings for them, allowing the likes of Gareth Martinelli, Odegaard not to worry they have to make all the playmaking, or Bukayo Saka, where they could just run other players. And Gabriel Jesus is such a good signing, because with Alexander Lacazette, he was just missing chances. Aubameyang, he got sold in January, so signing the likes of Gabriel Jesus, I feel like he's going to get everyone points, and he's going to give, I believe Arsenal, they're going to get top 4 in my opinion. It's going to, the way Arteta, and you can really see the vision of the club. But in addition, they signed Zinchenko, and you could see how he hoped scored the first goal against Crystal Palace. Last year against Crystal Palace would have been such a tight game for Arsenal, but this year, yes, it was a 2-0. It wasn't convincing, like they beat them crazy, but it's the first game of the season. But at the end of the day, it's not how you win, it's how you get it done. And they won. It was a bit difficult, but they got it done. But let's move on to Leicester. Leicester's a very close team tomorrow, because I'm in uni in Leicester. I lived like 5 minutes from the King Power Stadium. Not in 5 minutes, 2 minutes from the King Power Stadium. Sometimes when Leicester score, I could just hear the roar while I was sleeping. So with Leicester, they haven't done any summer business. Like, they might lose Wesley Fofana, they might lose James Maddison, and I thought Leicester could do the signings. And I feel like with Leicester, they probably thought this year they probably got the players which could help them. They got the defense to help them, so they didn't really think that they had to make any signings. But after the first game against Brentford, to go to the 2-0 lead, I thought they need some new signings. And against Brentford, they did really well. Dewberry's all to get the goal, Castagna to come near post, bang, like a Drogba-esque finish. But after that, they're allowing Da Silva to score. The likes of, I forgot who scored the first goal for them. But I think this could be a tough season for Leicester. I feel like, because they haven't signed any players. Yes, they only have the Premier League, but imagine Jamie Vardy gets injured. Is Iheanacho going to really replace him? Iheanacho is not really the Premier League striker. He's a very rotational player. So in this game, I'm going to say Arsenal's going to win. I feel like Arsenal are going to win this game 2-0. So guys, the next game we have is Brighton against Newcastle. We've got Graham Potter against Eddie Howe. And I feel like this game is going to be a very, very fun game to watch. And let's start with Brighton. What a monumental win against Man United. Yes, Man United plays shit, but it's not Brighton's fault at the end of the day. Brighton put pressure on Man United. They beat the Eric Ten Hag system, and they just overran the likes of Fred and Scott McTominay. Like, Scott McTominay and Fred didn't know what to do. Diego Dallo was struggling. And the signing for Brighton, of course, the guy who scored the 2 goals, very, very good goals. Danny Welbeck, who's been exceptional, was running in behind, putting balls in behind, just putting so much pressure on Lisandro Martinez. Yes, Lisandro Martinez played shit, but the clever tactics from Graham Potter, because he knows that it's Martinez's first game, so he's going to be a little bit wary of putting tackles in. And they should have really got a penalty. The end score should have been 3-1. I feel like Man United got off. Yes, Man United could have drawn, but at the end of the day, Brighton did a great job. And in addition, they've signed some very good players. They've signed the likes of Dennis Undev. Yes, yeah, they didn't sign him this year, but he's basically a brand new signing. And he ripped up in the Belgium league. Yes, it's a Belgium league at the end of the day, but I feel like he could translate and get the important goals, because Trossard hasn't really been the guy which has helped Brighton, and Neil Maupay is basically a bench warmer at the end of the day. They've signed the likes of Benico Bacabeta from Porto, Simon Andre from, that's the guy which I said, and Imari Samuels from Reading, and they got a guy from Chelsea called Levi Cornwall, which are very good signings. And I feel like the Brighton team didn't really have to sign anyone. They still kept the likes of Lewis Dunk. Yes, they lost Shane Duffy, but they still have a very, very good team. And I feel like against Newcastle, they could put a real test. But let's move on to Newcastle. With Newcastle, what a great window once again. The sign of Alex Murphy from Galway United, the sign of Nick Pope. Yes, Dubravka is very good, but replacing with Nick Pope, someone who's absolutely saved Burnley last year, even though yes, they did go down, but some of the saves he made, and surely he has to be chosen for England as second or third goalkeeper. But let's moving on. They signed the likes of Boltman from Lille. Some top teams, wanted to go for him. And Newcastle going out there, putting the money and getting him done. Boltman's going to be a very good signing. And Charlie MacArthur from Kilmarnock is another great signing. And they did very well against Nottingham Forest. Yes, it took some time to break the deadlock, but when they got it done, it was very good. And look at the Newcastle side, the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, Joe Linton now, who's a very well box-to-box midfielder, Alan Saint-Maximin, the two signings we just said, Nick Pope, the signing of Mott Target from Aston Villa. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a very, very good team between Brighton and Newcastle. But I'm going to say this game is going to be a very deadlock game in my opinion. I feel like it's going to be a 1-1 draw. So guys, let's move on to the next game. So the next game we've got Man City against Bournemouth. And let's start with Man City. What a game from Man City and Haaland. Let's talk about Haaland for a bit. With Haaland, I have my doubts. How is he going to adapt to the Pep system? Very passing team. He's a very typical number 9 striker. But he's proven me wrong for now. Like the way he got behind the defense, the likes of Kurt Zuma and Ben Johnson, Aaron Cresswell, and I forgot the right back, unfortunately. Like he did very well. How explosive he is and how he's so good at placing the ball, so good at shooting, like he's unreal. And I feel like with Man City right now, with Liverpool not starting the best, they looked a bit shaky, and Man City just proving to everyone how absolutely unbelievable they are. Like West Ham are not difficult, like a very difficult team to beat. Like they signed the likes of Skamaka from, I believe it's Sassuolo, who's an excellent player and can replace Mikel Antonio in the striker position and can do very well. This is a team which went very deep in the Europa League, and this year in the Conference League, they could actually win it. They're the likes of Declan Rice, Jared Bowen. But at the end of the day, Man City showed why they are in different levels compared to West Ham. But let's move on to Bournemouth. With Bournemouth, what a start from Scott Parker's man. To score a goal against Aston Villa and get 2-0 win against Aston Villa, unbelievable. And they signed some very good players, the likes of Ryan Fredericks, they signed the likes of Joe Rothwell, and the last person, Marcus Tuval from Middlesbrough. Like, it's been very, very good signings. But I think this game is going to be very, very tough for Bournemouth. To go away in the Etihad, yes, it's not like going to Anfield, it's not going to like a Goodison Park, it's not going to one of these very, very fun-oriented stadium. But at the end of the day, the way Man City, Haaland, likes of Haaland, De Bruyne, yes, Bernardo Silva has been agreed to Barcelona right now, but is that transfer going to go through in time? Like, it's going to be tough. And the sign of Calvin Phillips is just even more vitalizing how good this Man City and making them even more stronger. So my score prediction, I like Bournemouth and they start off very well. But my score prediction for this match is going to be 3-0 Man City. So guys, let's move on to the next game. So the next game we got Wolves against Fulham. Let's start with Wolves. They haven't really done any summer signings because they think that they have a very strong side, which they do. The likes of Pedro Neto, the likes of João Moutinho, the likes of Raul Jimenez, Adama Traore, Conor Cody, which they lost, which is a huge loss for them. Roman Saiz, who's gone to the Turkish league, which is another huge loss. Fabian Silva, he didn't really get any goals last year, but a lot of Wolves fans rate him. So this year, it could be a very, very tough year for Wolves. And Ozil made a big mistake in Leeds. And Leeds is one of those games which you need to win. Because when Wolves come against the top 6, the top 8, the top 10, it could be lights out for them. And last year, they were a couple of points behind Man United. It could really clinch a Europa League position. But towards the end, they just switched off. They were just a bit lackluster. And at the end of the day, they got caught out. And I feel like with Fulham, it's opposite. It's polar opposite. Starting the first game against Liverpool in Craven Cottage was unfucking believable. Alexander Mitrovic, the guy who never scores in the Premier League or gets very minimum goals, did very well. To get 2 goals, to beat Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yes, Trent's a bit weak in the air, but Trent's an exceptional defender. One of the greatest defenders in the Premier League right now. Like the way he can attack, he's so versatile, so complete. But to overcome them, and Marco Silva said, "Oh, we're not going to be scared of them. We're not intimidated." And they actually put the Scousers on the foot. In the first half, it was all Fulham, and Fulham were putting the pressure. And Fulham have done very, very good business. I'm just going to read out some of the signings they made. Andres Pereira from Man United, Bird Leno from Arsenal. Yes, Aaron Ramsdale's taken over, but Leno, a very, very good player at the end of the day still. Jacques Palhinha from Sporting Lisbon, Christian Scamara from Juventus, Callum Faye, so many players, Mana Solomon from Shakhtar Donetsk. All these players were unfucking believable, and they actually could have won the game. And I feel like they were a bit defensively poor in the first game, but at the end of the day, to go and actually draw 2-2 against Liverpool, it's a win in their eyes. Like Liverpool could have easily won the game, but they did well, and this is why I feel like Fulham going to win this game. I feel like this year could be the year they could stay out. So this game I'm going to be like it's going to be a close one, but I'm going to give it 2-1 Fulham. So guys, the next game we have is Brentford against Man United. And let's start with Brentford. With Brentford, what their first game against Leicester to come up from 2-0 down, and they did very well in the King Power Stadium, where Leicester are relatively good. Last year, Leicester got most of the wins in the King Power Stadium. And this year, they had a full squad, the likes of Ashley Barnes, James Maddison, Jamie Vardy, Yoni Tielemans, all their strong squad. But at the end of the day, they conceded 2 goals, but they didn't give up. And this is what Thomas Frank's men have been doing very, very well and exceptional. And the likes of the team which they've signed so many new players. I think they've signed something like Ben Mee on a free, which is exceptional, to make sure the defense is even more stronger. The likes of Max Volcox, Aaron Icky, Keno Lewis, like I believe they signed Thomas Skamasha from Lazio, who's a very good signing. Damagod, I've got the Danish player, which is another great signing, and they got it done. And the way Man United is going, they could easily win this game. Brentford are very, very good at home. The likes of Ivan Toney, you can run up the Man United defense. Man United midfield is basically non-existent at this point, so it's going to be peak. But let's move on to Man United. With Man United, where do I start? Like, this club's rotten. The Glazers were just sitting there in the stands, and it was just pissing me off where this club is going with them. Like, if Eric Ten Hag can't save Man United, which manager could save Man United? Ralph Rangnick said last year there has to be every single player needs to go. Yes, Scott McTominay, Fred. Yes, they've been a long servant. Especially Scott McTominay has been a long servant of this club. He has been here since the youth system. Thanks for your service, but you need to fuck off now. The way you were getting overrun by Brighton was pissing me off. And the way Fred was getting overridden, whatever bullshit you can say. Like, all of them were fucking poor. Even Diego Dallo, we signed him under Jose Mourinho. And guess what? We signed him for 30 million? Is he worth any of the 30 million? No fucking way. Oh man, I don't know where to go with Man United, and I don't know where to go for this game. Like, Ronaldo is being such a annoying man. If you want to leave, please. Like, understand, yes, you have a positive attitude with the team, but you are disrespecting the club. This is Man United FC. If you don't want to stay, you and your agent Ole Mendes can fuck off as well. But in this game, I feel like it's going to be a draw. I have to say a draw. I don't think so we're going to lose again, but we could easily lose. But my prediction for this game is going to be 1-1. So guys, the next game we have is Nottingham Forest against West Ham. Let's start with Nottingham Forest. What a summer window they've had. They've signed 10 new players. Some of the players have signed, let me say, so guys, the next game we have is Nottingham Forest against West Ham. So with Nottingham Forest, they've done very, very good business this summer. They signed the likes of Mangala from Stuttgart. They signed Dean Anderson from Man United, Jesse Lingard from Man United, Wayne Hennessy from Burnley. They signed Nico Williams from Liverpool. So they've done very, very good business. But the first game against Newcastle is always going to be a tough game. Eddie Howe and his men are very well drilled. They all know what they're doing, all possessionally done very well, and he just knows how to set up a team. And it was always going to be a tough game. The likes of Bruno Guimaraes, Alan St. Maximin, Joe Linton, it was always going to be very difficult. But yes, losing 2-0 is respectable, but if they want to stay up this year, because they're a very, very big side, do not forget Nottingham Forest has won 2 Champions League and has won multiple titles before in the English Football League, before it was called the Premier League. So if they want to stay up and get the Premier League money, they need to actually win this game against West Ham. But this game against West Ham is going to be very difficult. David Moyes and his men are very, very good, very, very drilled once again. Like, David Moyes, the vision he has with West Ham is unbelievable. The likes of Scamacca, you signed. Like, Mikel Antonio only got, I believe, he's never had a season where he scored more than 10 goals. And I feel like to go West Ham to the next position, signing Scamacca is going to be very good. And in addition, with West Ham, signing Alphonso Areola is basically a new signing. This guy was a PSG, he's won a World Cup, so he's a great goalkeeper. Yes, Fabianski, I still think Fabianski will be number 1 goalkeeper, but the future is Alphonso Areola. And I feel like with West Ham, they're going to win this game. I feel like them against Nottingham Forest, I feel like if West Ham want to get top 6 or top 8 this year, they need to win all these games against all the new teams that come up. But as Ben Foster said, the worst thing to play is when teams come up first. So like whenever a team gets promoted, another team doesn't want to play with them, and you can see this with Fulham. Like they have so much energy and they just want to go because they know they want to put all their effort in with staying in this division. But saying that, my score prediction for this game is going to be 3-1 West Ham. So guys, let's move on to the most important game of Game Week 2. We got Tottenham against Chelsea. We got Antonio Conte against Thomas Tuchel. And let's start with Chelsea's transfer window. It's been pretty interesting. They've signed some good players. They signed Koulibaly, which was very important because Rudiger left. They've signed Krug Keller. I don't really understand why they've signed him. Like, yes, Marcos Alonso leaving, so 50 million for a rotation. It's not. Is he worth the money? Probably not. Koulibaly, great signing. Raheem Sterling has said very good signing. But some of the other signings they made is just been a bit questionable. And I feel like they need Wesley Fofana as a very fast centre back because Thiago Silva and Koulibaly are not the fastest people in the world. And in the Premier League, they're just going to get overrun. And I feel like that's what's going to happen. And with Chelsea, the first game against Everton, it was just boring. This game is very important because Chelsea have this tendency to beat Tottenham all the time. I believe they did it 3 times last year. But this year against Antonio Conte, experienced manager. And let's look at some of the players Tottenham have signed. Ivan Perisic. Yes, he's a bit old, but he's very experienced. He knows the Antonio Conte system from Inter Milan. Fraser Forster, a great rotational keeper. Basuma for Brighton can hold down the defense. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg didn't really do that. Richarlison, a backup striker to Harry Kane, who's been very good for Everton, and he's probably been Everton's goal scorer, and this is a shithouse which any team would love. Clement Lenglet and Deja Spence, and they recently signed someone called Destiny, I can't say his second name, from Udinese, a left back, very, very good. And I feel like with Antonio Conte, he makes these signings which you don't really understand at the end of the day. Tottenham will get it done. I feel like they have such a good team. I feel like Chelsea need to go all guns are blazing. Tottenham have a tendency to start slow. So most score prediction, I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham. So guys, the last game we have Game Week 2 is between Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. And let's start with Liverpool. They've had a pretty relatively good summer season. The likes of Darwin Núñez, and is there anyone else which they've signed? Carvalho from Fulham. Like the 2 signings which they had, nothing else is really coming in my mind. But the first game week, they didn't really do the best. I thought Liverpool were going to absolutely trash Fulham, and they didn't at the end of the day. Like they got pretty lucky to come away with the 2-2 victory. Like the way Fulham were absolutely putting the pressure on in the first half, Liverpool didn't know what to do. And I feel like Liverpool's midfield was just getting overrun. And I feel like they were just a bit struggling. But I feel like it's just the first game of the season. I feel like if Liverpool carry on this run which they're going at, it could be lights out for them. But losing Sadio Mane in the summer is a big, huge loss. Like Firmino's not really the guy which is going to get it done. Luis Diaz, yes, he started off very well last year, but is he the man to fill Sadio Mane's shoes? It's going to be very difficult to say. I feel like if you could get the best replacement for Sadio Mane, it has to be Luis Diaz, but he's not proven yet. And I feel like this game against Crystal Palace, they need to win. In Anfield, Liverpool are different gravy. And I feel like if they don't win in Anfield and they go on draw, I feel like winning the league this year might just be too far for them. And I feel like they might struggle. But I don't think this is like a possibility. Like Darwin Núñez, like everyone's taking the piss that he was getting assists when he not meant to. But as a striker at the end of the day, if you get, as people say, if you're in the right positions, you're going to get the goals. And that's exactly what happened. 1 assist to Salah, and that flick, yes, he got a bit lucky with the flick, but at the end of the day, he's in the right position and the right place at the right time to get the goal. And everyone took the piss, he's missing his chances, he's going to do in pre-season. Guess what, motherfuckers, he's done already thing. And I'm a fan of the Premier League, so he's already getting me points, so thank you, Darwin Núñez. But it's going to be a tough season for them. As I said, if Liverpool don't absolutely go out there and beat Crystal Palace in convincing fashion, it's going to be tough. But let's move on to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, yes, in the first game they lost to Arsenal, but he wasn't a bad loss at the end of the day. They had a very, very good side. And they have the likes of Eze, the likes of Mitchell, the likes of Zaha, Ayew. They signed some very good players this year. Chris Richards from Bayern Munich, Sam Johnston from West Brom Albion. They signed the likes of Mikel Wobaway from Derby County, and the signing of Decore from Lens, which is a very good signing because losing Conor Gallagher was very difficult for Crystal Palace, because Conor Gallagher was a very pivotal part of their run last year and what they did. And this year, the likes, hopefully Decore could fill into those shoes, but it's going to be very difficult. And I feel like A lot of people are not expecting Crystal Palace to go out there and absolutely beat Liverpool, but if they get anything a draw, it's a win in my opinion. But do I think this is going to happen? No. I'm sorry, Crystal Palace fans. You have a great set of fans. I believe you're one of the few teams which actually have an ultra side, which is very good in the Premier League right now. But I feel like in Anfield, is Crystal Palace one of the teams which I think are going to beat them? No. So my score prediction, I feel like is going to be a 3-1 Liverpool. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. These are my Game Week 2 predictions for the 2022-2023 season. And yes, you might be thinking, what are these weird Game Week predictions? But it's my opinion at the end of the day. And I feel like everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Guys, please in the comments put all your predictions for this Game Week. And please, guys, like, subscribe, comment, do the usual. And I'll see you later.